Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today you join me on a nice beautiful summer evening. Got the window cracked open slightly and the cool summer breeze is flowing through my room and I can smell that fresh air and it's lovely, I must say. I've been waiting for this. Anyways, I'm getting carried away as usual. Got another video today for you guys. We're racing in basically what's an F4 car on Assetto Corsa around Monza. This was, I would say, a pretty good race in my opinion. I'm not the greatest sim racer, I must admit, but I've been improving lately, and I drove against a very difficult level AI, or very hard basically. And yeah, I just thought I might as well record it. It was quite an interesting first couple of laps, and yeah, you'll just see for yourself. I'm just gonna shut up and get into the video. So before we go into the race, we're going to review my one and only qualifying lap, which I set as a challenge, you know, just on the one lap. So heading down towards the first turn, the first chicane where pileups tend to happen, you want to brake hard just after the 100-meter board mark. That's where I found was a good moment to brake for myself, and from there obviously you just want to slowly bleed off the brakes. That's known as trail braking, and then let the momentum carry through the chicane. And yeah, then you want to at that point focus on the exit of the corner. And now we're heading down towards the second chicane where it's not as narrow. Again, you want to brake just after the board, so this time it's the 50-meter board mark there, so it's just a little bit after. These cars have a lot of braking potential. Now going into Lesmo 1, I probably could have turned in a little bit later and probably could have used a bit more of the track on the outside as well, just to carry more speed through that corner. And even through Lesmo 2, I probably could have carried a bit more speed as well, considering that you can ride the curb on the apex quite a lot, especially in this car. In fact, any car from what I've driven, at least on this game. Anyways, going into Ascari chicane, just want to brake just before the curb. That's where I did. And this is a very fast left, right, left. It's one of my favourite sequence of corners on out of every single racetrack. I think when you nail down a Ascari chicane, it just feels really satisfying. So yeah, going into the last turn now, which is a parabolica. It's a very tight right hander which starts to open up, and that means you can get on the power a bit earlier, but you want to make sure you don't get on it too early, otherwise you're going to start drifting off too wide and you're going to go into the gravel and lose a lot of time. So we cross the finish line, we get a 155.3. Not a bad effort, but I will note that it's actually 5 seconds slower than some times I've seen on YouTube. I've seen some people do 150 point whatever. But anyways, that puts us P9 on the grid for the race, and we line up on the grid in our position as we wait for the 5 red lights to go out. And here we are, just waiting. We've got the revs built up and lights out, and away we go. A fairly even start from everyone. We get a pretty decent getaway actually, especially in the second phase. We build some traction up and we start to out drag the 2 cars ahead of us, which means we'll be going up into P7. So pretty good start to the race, and you've got to be very careful going into the first chicane. Obviously it's very tight, so it's quite common for pileups to happen. Luckily none of that happened for this race. Everyone was very clean, very smooth with their driving, and we are now chasing down P6. Are we gonna go have a look into the chicane? Let's have a look here. We're in the slipstream, we peel off to the left and we're just gonna send it down the inside, but the driver sends it round the outside to defend his position, and fair play, he keeps his position and we're still in P7. So yeah, obviously that compromised our exit, which meant the car behind was trying to gain back at us, but looking in the mirrors I realised I could probably move off to the left and then swing to the right again just to make sure there's a bit more momentum. But we've got an incident here, yellow flags, and wow, we've just been gifted 3 positions now, so we should be up into P4. Seems like there was a bit of a hustle and a tussle with all those cars there coming out of the second Lesmo. And now we've got a pretty good run out of Ascari chicane, and we're already in the slipstream, so we're not actually going to overtake, because the guy in P, what's that, P2, yes, he's fairly far ahead, and P1 and P2, the AI drivers, they're actually pretty fast. I was actually pushing this race to try and get further up on the podium, or to at least try and challenge for a win. So I thought, let me bump draft, let's not waste time here battling another driver. And you're going to see it again. Here we go, a little bump, but this time we thought we're close enough, so we're going to send it down the inside. But we tried to do the switchback, we get blocked off a little bit, and that compromises our exit. So our momentum again is just being killed on the straights, and you're going to see how much that affects your lap time when you're driving. Look, it's not worked. My momentum's killed, and the number 38 driver is slightly ahead of me, but we're on his inside, so we could send it, but we decide not to. We think better of it. Since the other two drivers are faster ahead of us, we think it's better to work with the driver and, you know, fight for a better position. Now, going into a Sky chicane in the second lap, I committed a bit too much, so yeah, lost a lot of time there, and now P2 and P3 have gone off into the distance. Skipping ahead though to lap 3 now, we're still in P4. We're not that far behind, if we're, you know, being honest. And it seems like P2 and P3 are fighting each other going into the chicane, so look how much that has slowed them down. It slowed them down massively to the point where I've caught up to them instantly within one sector of a lap. So they're going side by side into Lesmo 1, and they're going to go side by side going into Lesmo 2 again. And you're going to see here, we're going to get boxed in because of these two fighting. One tries to do the switchback, but it just doesn't seem to work. We're boxed in, we're carrying too much momentum, we don't know what to do. What we're going to do, we're going to bump draft. We should just call this the bump drafting Grand Prix at this point. But at least we get a position out of this, and we've got an overtake done. But I will admit, the bump drafting and the amount of speed I was carrying out of that second Lesmo was so much that going into Ascari I almost lost it, as you saw there. Just a loss of front end grip meant that I was sliding around. But yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. That was the whole race. Got into P3 after that incident, got into P4 initially after that major incident, and this is the final lap of the race, which is crazy to say because my videos are usually longer than 10 minutes. So we're just heading towards the final corner coming out of a Ascari chicane. All we got to do is cross the finish line, and we can see there is no P1 and P2 ahead of us. They are long gone, which means that there's plenty of space to improve in my driving. But anyways, coming around Parabolica, there I am, number 1. Obviously that's my number for my car. I didn't actually choose it, by the way. So yeah, cross the finish line and we take P3. I was quite happy with that, and as traditions go, as soon as you cross the finish line, just crash the car, because this isn't real. Unfortunately, I couldn't even do that. They just teleported me back into the pits. But yeah, here's the rest of the cars finishing across, going across the finish line. Seems like everyone except one driver, I think, who retired. But yeah, everyone seemed to have died. Not died. Everyone seemed to have finished the race. Anyways, that was P3. That's the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm going to do more videos. And watch this other video here if you want to see something else. And thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.